Hello and welcome to the End Up Like Me podcast, the podcast where I talk about myself. It is I, Jonathan, and once again, bringing you another Friday night episode. And guess what, guys? This is the Friday before Christmas. The Friday of December 23rd, 2016. So, we're going to be talking about Groundhog's Day. Ha! How's that for predictability? Freaking groundhogs, dude. Actually, just kidding. We're not. I haven't decided yet. But, this is the intro where I just want to tell you guys that I have a theme song. It causes many ears to bleed. And if you want to replace that theme song, just send me an email at enduplikemepodcast@gmail.com. I also have a Twitter that's at enduplikemepodcast. No, at enduplikemepod. And a Facebook page that is End Up Like Me Podcast. It's like a group or something, like a grouper fish. But yeah, that's all I have to say. Let this Groundhog's Day video begin. Not video, podcast, you moron. Are you ready? Are you sure? Okay. This is the End Up Like Me podcast. The stories are true about my past. Talking to me, oh, that is rad. Might even try to become your dad. Oh, you should be ashamed of yourself. Did that rhyme even flow? No? Oh, well. Oh, this is the End Up Like Me podcast. Even relive calculus class. Who wants to hear about T-ball? I even have one about my sprawl. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Merry Christmas. And what a wonderful theme song that was, Jonathan. Why, thank you, Santa. I worked real hard on it. What's up, guys? I know I already have an intro to this video, but it doesn't seem the same without me saying hello to the microphone. It's been like 5 days since I've recorded that, so bear with me for a second. Today, we're gonna be talking about the waitressing industry, aka serving, aka waiting tables. That's right, motherfuckers. You might have to, I'm going to test things out on this episode. I'm going to say that real fast. I'm not going to put the narrative filter over this audio recording, so you might be able to hear my labored breaths through the microphone. Especially since it's like winter, so I have like that stuffy nose, dry-faced, cracked lips. My tongue is also burnt because I tried to eat hot food last night, but that's neither here nor there. That's like my favorite saying, I swear to gorsh. Unless I'm serving tables, then I have this other famous saying, which is, keep on enjoying, or I hope you enjoy. Tons of enjoy. I overkill the enjoy. But that's not how I'm gonna start this episode off, even though I totally just did. I'm gonna start off by just why do I serve out of all jobs? So let's think about this. I'm a parent and a college student, so my schedule can be kind of crazy. I might have a lab that I might have to stay longer for, maybe exam or quiz, maybe I'm behind on homework time. On top of, can someone watch my kid? Do I need to watch my kid? Should I, how many hours can I work in one sitting before I have to watch my kid? There's so many variables, and it's crazy, like, especially since I'm thinking about getting an internship or an externship, whatever the frick. So I need a very flexible schedule, and it's great. I'm only scheduled to work 3 days a week, and I have the ability to pick up more shifts if I need to, and I know this is the same for a lot of jobs. Of course it is. I know you could maybe work at a Target, and you can drop and pick up shifts if need be. I'm not sure how many hours you have to be down. I'm only down for about 12 to 15 hours a week as scheduled, and then I can work more if need be. But even with that small amount of hours, I'm still able to drop those shifts if I really need to. if there's an emergency, I can ask my friend to pick up my. There's a Neato app called Hot Schedules, and it shows me all the days I work, what times I work. I keep on like belching how many other people work, who those people are, so I know who's not working if I need someone to cover my shift. And then I can tell the app like what days I need off before it even schedules me. Like if I always work on Saturdays, I can say, hey, this Saturday it ain't cool. Unfortunately, I can't do that for holidays, so I'm working New Year's Eve. Yippee! My son's first New Year's, not New Year's Eve, Christmas Eve, and I get to be at work serving you or bitchy ass. I'm trying not to cuss so much. I need to stop. This is the first recording where my kid is not in the room, so my language is slowly going back to the poor stages it was. And let me just say this. The restaurant industry and the kitchen, just all sorts of cussing, a lot of sex jokes or sexual humor. It's a pigsty back there. Not cleanliness, it's fine. But, like, the humor and the topics, it can be uncomfortable for the weak of heart, I should say, I guess. But, so yeah, the scheduling's great. I actually have to talk to my manager about changing my schedule because my class schedule's changing. And so now I need to change one of the 3 days that I work to be a different day. Not gonna say what, so you don't know my work schedule, you freaking creepers and perverts. I see you there with your pants poking out at me. I never can say what my last name is now, or ever. But anyways, I had a homework assignment that was for like this technical writing class on a minute. The assignment was called Instructions and Manuals, and I basically had to make a set of instructions or a manual to doing a task. And long and behold, I chose serving and waitressing. I'm going to keep on calling it waitressing because I think that sounds better than waiting, even though waitressing is supposed to be feminine, but don't assume my gender. Just kidding. Total male. Male as in man. Mailman. He figured it out. I hope I'm not saying too much. Oh gosh, I'm gonna be bringing that up every episode about the way I say But anyways, let's get into this. So basically, this is a manual. So let me just throw down some credentials here. I've been serving for 2.5 years. I've worked at this restaurant for so long that they thought I was one of the certified trainers, but I never got certified. I never got training to be a certified trainer. So in essence, they had me train people with for why am I blanking out? They had me train people for the job that I do, and there's supposed to be like this training session you're supposed to go through and a few other things, and I just never did that. But I think they didn't realize that. I don't know. But I like fell through the cracks and I ended up training people. So there's some more experience there. And I like to think I'm actually pretty good at my job. Not gonna lie, when I first started off, I was garbage. More garbage than any new person I've ever met. Like, low of the low. I should have been fired. I was so bad. I remember there was this kitchen manager. We'll call him Bobby, because that's his name, and I fucking hate him. Oh my god, I don't use the word hate. I try not to hate people. So when I say hate, I don't hate him. I very strongly dislike him. He was a total prick, especially towards me. I don't know why. I might have been, like, he was a prick to me before he knew I was bad at my job, basically. So the fact that I did bad and he was a prick to me is kind of, doesn't matter. But anyway, so I remember one time I had one table, Okay, so basically how it works at the restaurant I work at. I know some places they give you like 20 tables and they're like, okay, serve these tables, and if you make $2 on like half of them, that's good money. Or low tips. The place I work at, you want average, middle tips, not like high ass tips, but they only give you 3 to 4 tables because they expect you to make more than $5 per table. Anyways, so I have probably like the smallest section in the restaurant, and currently only one of my tables was sat, and it was like a table with only 2 people, so really easy, nothing could go wrong that much. However, this lady, she ordered like a sandwich, and I, I've only worked there for like 2 weeks, and I somehow got through my menu test, which is basically a thing that tests your knowledge on the menu. However, I couldn't remember it on the spot. And this lady was like, I don't want any of this stuff on there. And she said so quickly, and I was so timid that I didn't ask, like, say it back to her. So she, like, basically wanted everything off the sandwich, but she only told me the ingredients she wanted off instead of saying, I want only, like, the chicken and the bread. And so, me being a dummy, I didn't take any of that stuff off. I took, like, probably 2 things off, and then I wasn't sure about the rest. And I was too scared to go approach her, so I just sent the order. And long and behold, it's like the 3rd time I said that, she gets her plate and sends it back because it has all the shit on it. And I take it to the kitchen manager to get a new one. And he just starts yelling at me about, like, do we need to take you down to 1 table? What is this bullshit? And I'm going to be honest with you. This happens a lot where servers fuck up orders, but there's never, ever time they get yelled at. And I think this was, like, the 1st or 2nd time I've ever brought back anything. I mean, I was new, so it was probably, like, my 4th weekend. And that's not even new. I was just bad at my job at that point. And he's yelling at me and shit. Just totally wiping the floor with me, just insulting me. And he, I don't know if I already said this, but he quote, literally said, do we need to change you to give you a 1 table section? And I'm just thinking, I already have only 1 table. He was that guy that basically, I almost quit my job because of that fucker. My life would be so much different if I didn't continue working at Outback. Because now I think my social skills are pretty much like 1,000 times better. I can just walk up to people, ask them what they want. No, it's not as easy as that. But anyways, that was a short story. Jeez. So I was about to get into instructions, and I got into Bobby getting angry at me. Bobby, don't yell. Don't yell. But anyways, my instruction manual is about 50 steps long. And I know what you're thinking. Holy shit. This job is not that complicated. And it probably isn't. I was just very detailed. It was my homework assignment in a class that I kind of wanted to do a little well in to make up for my grades in a different class. And I got a 90 on it. I mean, I kind of wanted more, but whatever. So one thing you have to remember for when you're serving, I'm gonna give this instruction manual out, and the thing you have to remember is that this isn't just while you're following these steps. It's not for 1 table, unless you only have 1 table. While you're doing this set of steps for 1 person, one table, I'll call them tables because that's what we call them in the biz. The porn no, I'm kidding. Excuse me. Anyways, so if you're serving 2 tables, you might be on step 5 on 1 table and then like step 17 on the other table and whatnot. Yeah, makes sense. And then if you have 3 or 4, probably not 4. 4 is like if we're low on staffing because they really emphasize that whole service standard. Yeah. Okay, so let's get into it. So the first thing you do is within the first 30 seconds of that table take. Oh, no, before I get into this, Another thing you have to remember. So there's a lot of going into the kitchen and going out to see your customers, just back and forth. You don't stop it with the ums. You do not want to make multiple trips. If you know that one table is probably going to need another refill, but you're going out to greet a table, make sure you get that refill or any other things that you need while you're going back out there. You don't want to make 1,000 trips and then you're running back and forth. That is hectic. You won't be able to perform as well for your tables. You won't get a good tip because, they might see how your speed and your agility, and they might go, wow, this guy's working hard for us, let's give him a bigger tip. I mean, it does come across that way sometimes, but some people just think you're incompetent. From experience. Anyways, so yeah, make sure you're making every trip count, and basically. So anyways, at the very beginning, you have at least 30 seconds to greet a table. And by greet, I mean say, hey, how are you doing? Or if you're really busy and you have to do, I don't recommend doing this, but there's been times where, so a table, I'm in the middle of talking to a table, and there's a lot of people that really want to order right then and there. Even if you're not about to put their food in. They don't need their food yet, but they want to give you their order, and they're very keen on it, but there's another table behind you that's just getting sat. So if you have so a lot of times I'm dealing with the parties, and parties, as you can tell, there's a lot of them, so that means the order takes a lot longer. So if a table's getting sat, sometimes you gotta turn around I'll be right with you folks in one moment, and then get back to your table, because you can't just leave them. A lot of people won't let you. They think it's rude and whatnot. And as long as you acknowledge your table, for the most part, sorry, I'm getting comfortable, they are happy. They understand that other customers can be quite demanding sometimes. So anyways, when you greet that table, you say, hey, how are you? Are you guys how's your stay in this city or whatever? Quick small talk, nothing too long. That I just posed. Probably just, how is everybody doing tonight? Great. Awesome. My name is Jonathan, and I'll be your server tonight. Tonight we are featuring, crab top tilapia. It is very delicious with this tasty butter sauce. I'm not going to get into too many details because I don't want you guys to figure out where I work. But I probably already gave away too much information. I highly recommend blah, blah, blah. Alright, so this is basically a short spiel that is dreadfully boring. You can tell some people don't want to hear it, but you can't just stop in the middle of doing it. That creates awkwardness. If they're not looking at you, you can't just stop, because maybe they're listening. But, so it's one of those things that you say no matter what. It's kind of hard to read. A lot of people will be respectful, at least look at you, but occasionally you can definitely tell when your customers aren't listening, but you got to power through that. So ideally, that spiel, you at least bring up 2 appetizers and 2 drinks per the restaurant I work at. That's their standard, 2 appetizers, 2 drinks, for recommendations, because they really want to sell extra food, because we already know that you're going to buy entrees, so we want you to buy entrees and more. That's how corporate thinks. However, I don't think corporate, so I normally recommend this what we have on our specials menu. I have this long example. Oh, geez, this is a paragraph of of my greet. So anyways, after you greet the table, you ask if they want drinks with their food. I mean, of course they want drinks. And you place coasters out in front of them. I probably should have said that first. While I'm greeting the table, I'm placing coasters in front of them. So I don't know why I do it. I know why I was told, but I don't think it matters currently in the workplace I'm in. But the idea was, when you greet a table, you put coasters in front of them. So if another server walks by, they know that the table's been spoken to, and they don't have to greet them, just in case. If I'm really behind, maybe my section buddy, which is basically the server next to me, could help me out, but that never happens where I work. Such a
teamwork in this place. Anyways, you get their drink order, and then you'd ask if they want an appetizer. Some people know that it only takes them 2 seconds to pick an appetizer, so you don't want them waiting 2 minutes while you get drinks or whatever you have to grab, and they want this appetizer the whole time. Some people don't know. They'll say we need more time to look at our menu, but you ask for the appetizer then, and yeah. so you go back, and remember, you're doing other things for your other tables unless you don't have any. So you're going back, you're grabbing if they have alcoholic drinks at the restaurant I work at, bartenders make those, of course. So I have to send the bartender a ticket so that they know it's been put on the check. Otherwise, servers could just be giving out free drinks willy-nilly. So you have to ring up, I strongly recommend ringing up those drinks first, and then so they'll be ready by the time you're out to the bar with the non-alcoholic beverages. And then I ring up my appetizer, so that gets cooking up while I'm grabbing the drinks. And then I start grabbing all the non-alcoholic drinks that I can grab, whatever kid drinks you get at the bar, because bar has the juices and whatnot. And then I put them on my tray, and then I grab clean appetizer plates. You always make sure they're clean. You check them. Self-explanatory. Give them a loaf of bread. And then I go to the bar, see if my drinks are ready, throw those on my tray, and then I take all this schniznap and whatever I need to grab to the table. Alright, this is going to be so long. I'm on like step 3. I got to power through this. So anyways, I start dropping off the stuff, and I put down the bread. If they get an appetizer, I let them know, hey, that appetizer's working. I don't know, let's say this quesadilla is working. I'm not going to even name the quesadilla. And so because some people, they think, oh, he's incompetent. He works a serving job. He doesn't know what he's doing. I'm in college, dude. Come on, give me a break. But yeah, a lot of people will just assume you're incompetent. Maybe because I am incompetent. I don't know. People haven't done that for me in a while. And I think it's because I cover all my steps. But anyways, you let them know. And you go, are we still looking at the menu? Are we ready to order? Now, you cannot assume that since a person's looking at the menu that they're not ready to order. Some people are just doing it because they just want to know what's on the menu. They might be ready to order. They're just bored and feel like browsing. So you ask, but you always ask if they have questions, any concerns, or if they're ready, so that they feel more comfortable and not rushed. You never want your table to feel rushed. There's been a few times where I've made my table feel rushed for instance, I'll drop a check off a little early because I'm worried that I'm going to be so busy with my other tables that I'll drop the check off too late. And this lady thought I was rushing them through their meal. Like, they had probably 5 bites left of their plates, and she was upset with me, and she said, give me this check 10 minutes from now. I'm like, okay, yes, ma'am. And it was just one of those deals where she thought I was rushing them because I felt rushed. Like, I was trying to make sure that they weren't waiting for me, in essence, and that was the way I rushed my customers. I'm not even up to that step yet. Anyways, you get their order. Now, there's specific things that you have to do just to make sure their order's perfect. So, for instance, I work at a steakhouse. And I'm not going to describe the steak temperatures. I know the steak temperatures, but let's say they wanted like a medium. Medium their way, how they envision medium. But the way they envision medium is not how we make medium. Let's say they wanted like super red and our medium's like pink. I know, very vague description to keep it low key. And then when the steak comes out, it's pink and not what they wanted. They're like, the fuck, dude? So you have to describe the temperature to them once they order it. Oh, and you also have to read back what they like. So let's say they got like a 6-ounce sirloin. When they say 6-ounce sirloin medium, you say 6-ounce sirloin. That's gonna be a description. We're not gonna say it verbatim because it's on the menu. And then when they're ordering sides, some entrees come with 2 sides, some come with 1, some are already paired with sides, some are not. And so, let's say they're getting a burger, and that comes with fries. And so you say, all right, that burger, it comes with fries. And they go, oh, yeah, I would love fries. And then, so this isn't, this part is, I'm getting so vague because I'm trying to rush through this now, seeing how long I've recorded. But this is important because if they don't understand that the fries is their side, they might say, I want the burger with steamed vegetables or something. And then you order them up a burger with steamed vegetables instead of fries. And then they get their burger and they're like, well, I have my vegetables, but I don't have my fries, if that makes sense. So if you let them know if they're substituting a side, if they're adding on a side, you make sure you're very clear. There's a lot of people that will try to make it look like it's your fault for free food. I've seen it happen to where this lady, she ordered a salad as an entree. And I saw it on the ticket. I saw, okay, this salad's an entree, but this other salad isn't. So I ran my friend's food for them because that's what you do. You run other people's stuff if they're not available to. And one of the ladies at the table was like, well, where's my salad? And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. The salad said it came out as an entree, but I can go ahead and grab it now if you'd like. And she was like, yeah, that's fine. And so I go back, grab her salad, drop that off too. And long and behold, fourth time I've said that. When the entrees came out, she said, I never got my salad. And she was hiding her salad behind like the menus and stuff. And I thought that was so crazy. Because it's like, I'm like, really? You wanted an extra salad so badly that you try to make it look like we couldn't do our jobs. So that, like, for $5, you basically, instead of paying for $5, you made us look like idiots. However, because I was smart enough, I had let the server know as I dropped off the entree salad that I had already dropped off the salad because they asked for it early. And I told the manager, hey, later on when you get that entree ticket for table 8, don't worry about the salad. They asked to have it early instead. And so she kind of, it did not go her way. Anyways, so what step am I on? Oh, like, okay, so another thing you have to take on is, like, some people, let's say they're getting baked potato and they say they want everything on it, but they don't eat bacon. So the menu doesn't say what goes on the baked potato, so you verify. You go, okay, that's going to be butter, sour cream, cheese, bacon bits, and chives. And they'll go, oh, fuck, no bacon, or no chives, or whatever the frick they don't want on it. Or maybe they'll say butter only. That's good. All right. Oh, and I should mention, throughout this whole, like, one of the things that you're constantly doing for your tables is you're removing dirty dishes or empty cups if they are not using them anymore. Some people, they'll have a plate with a little bit on it. They might want to keep that. So there's sometimes you might want to ask if it's okay to grab. But this is something you're constantly doing throughout the night. So I'm not going to tell you to pre-bus your table. That's what it's called. Just grabbing extra things out of the way. So later on when their food comes, there's space, or when the dessert comes, there's space for that. So on and so forth. Anyways. Alright, let me skim through. Go back to the kitchen. Order it up. Now, there's some things when you're ringing up food. Basically how we do it, where I work, is you can ring a salad on as a side. But naturally people want their soups and salads out early. Excuse me, once again, I'm so sorry about that short pause. I had to belch into my pocket hand. Anyways, the next, I skipped a step. So, let's say at this point that their appetizer is at their table, whether you delivered it or it just got there on its own, and you go and check on it after there's what we call a 2-bite check back, which is basically letting them enjoy it real fast and seeing the quality of it to make sure that they're happy with what they got. Like, for instance, you drop off soup, you see them take a bite out of it, and you walk away. Like, that's not very good, because for all you know, that bite, that might have been a cold thing of soup in their mouth that they're going to eat, because you walked away and you did check on it to see if you can get them a better soup or fix any issues that might be wrong with the soup. So 2-bite check back. So you go, oh, how's that appetizer? Oh, it's delicious? Excellent. In that case, I'll get ready to send your food. Now, it's very important for pacing wise to to send the food, soups and salads first. While it depends. If it actually depends. If they have soups and salads, you send the soups and salads when they're halfway done with their appetizer. So by the time they're almost done, they have their soups and salads out, and they can enjoy those. If you send it too early, they might barely start on their appetizers, but now they have a salad that they feel like they have to eat in front of them. I wouldn't have an issue with it myself. There's a lot of people that would, for some reason. I mean, they have good reason to. They have quirks the way they eat, and they're paying to eat at the restaurant, so they should at least have their quirks satisfied and whatnot. So you don't normally send the soups and salads until they're halfway done with their appetizer. However, and that's without sending the entrees. However, in the machine we use, you can select to send the soups and salads first, and then 4 minutes from that machine, it will automatically send the entrees, which gives it perfect timing. So you don't have to worry about going back to the computer and sending the entrees. Anyways, oh geez, now I'm getting all discombobulated and stuff. Or maybe it's been discombobulated from moment one. Anyways, while you're ringing up this order, you're double checking to make sure all the information is correct. There's been so many times where I forgot to send a single plate on a ticket, and a person was unable to eat with their family or their party or whatever. I felt really bad because I did it to my wife one time. They all went out to eat, I think, to celebrate her, and she was the one plate I forgot to put in. I felt very bad. Needless to say. Stop saying dude. Anyways, some things that you might be ringing up take longer to cook than others. That makes sense. This is a big ass steak. It's probably going to take longer to cook, so maybe you shouldn't wait the 4 minutes between the salad and the entrees to send that food. That's correct. You don't want to wait on things that take forever to cook. However, you still let the ticket set for 4 minutes before it goes to the kitchen. How you get it to cook early is you let the chefs know, hey, just a heads up, you guys are gonna get a ticket that's gonna have, I don't know, a T-bone medium well, so you might want to get started on that early. I mean, we don't say it like that. This is basically, we just say Waka back, medium well T-bone on the whatever, and then that they know what that means. But I'm saying this in a conversationalist style, so you guys understand. Like, if I just told you, then you say the chef's Waka back, medium well T-bone, you want to get it. I mean, when I was training a person, I said, hey, come on, real fast, can you go ahead and yell at Zenon, one of the people that work there, that we need a medium well pork porterhouse. Just say Waka back, medium well pork porterhouse. And the trainee was so scared because she thought I was trying to prank her into yelling it. And we yell it so they can hear it. I'm friends with all the kitchen staff. They are people too. I'm not disrespecting you guys. It's just for the quickness, we yell. And then when we ask for things, we say, please, can I have this blank, blah, blah, blah. But for like walkabacks, it's just yelling and stuff. All right. I hope if I've managed to elude 99% of you of where I work, I'm happy. I know there's going to be some person that has worked where I worked that knows exactly what I'm talking about. Anyways, so you've walked back the things you need to walk back. Now so what I constantly do when I'm not busy or when I have spare time and there's nothing I need to grab is what I call it is scouting. I mean, that's what I named it when I started training people because it's just something I do. I normally make a lap past my table, see if they need anything. If they do, then I go back to the kitchen. But this is normally what I do to fill up my free time. Sometimes I use scouting to see how far along my tables are on their food. If they need, if they're ready for me to send the salads. Like, let's say I have the order, but they're not ready. The salads aren't even ready to send because maybe the appetizer isn't quite out there yet. I use this opportunity to see if the appetizer goes out there. Because sometimes things go right past you and you don't notice. So it's just a double checking precaution. But let's say you've sent the steaks and they're ready. So now at this point, your salads, you've either ran your salads or someone else has ran them. But no matter what, you need to check to make sure those salads are delicious. So you go back, do your 2-bite check back, and you say, "Oh, how are those soups and salads?" And they're like, "Oh, delicious, fantastic." But let's say, "Hey, this clam chowder is cold. This is absolutely disturbing to me that I have cold soup in my mouth. I hate you, server man. I hate you." Okay, that's not true. A lot of them say, "Hey, you didn't cook it. It's not your fault." However, there's been times where people have said that, and it is my fault. And just a tip, if you admit your faults, people are more likely to tip you better. I haven't done any experimental process to prove that, but I know it to be true that if you admit your faults, people think that you're trustworthy. From a stranger standpoint, a better person, if that makes sense, and they appreciate it sometimes, unless they're huge pricks. Anyways, so what you do is you go, "I'm so sorry about the soup. Can I get you another one, or can I heat this up?" And 9 times out of 10, they'll say yes. If they say no, you let the manager know. The manager will probably stop by and maybe either take something off, give them something else, maybe give them a card for an appetizer for next time. However, if they want another soup, you go back to the kitchen and like, "Hey, dude, you're giving out cold soups. I need a hot one as fast as you can, like a delicious hot soup." You don't want to give them the same old. I mean, you totally can give them back the same old soup, heat it up. However, I like to make sure my customers are extra happy, so I give them. Sometimes I give them. It depends. It really depends. And when that soup is hot and ready to go, you make sure your manager runs it out so that they can double check on the soup. If getting the manager involved is very important because they can smooth over a lot of problems. They have training to make, like, basically their majority of their job when they're working in the front of the restaurant is to make sure customers are happy. That's how we're supposed to do it at where I work. So if you work where I work, you get your manager involved. They run the food, make sure it's okay, and then this is where they can have a conversation saying, "Is there anything else I can do for you? I'm so sorry. Next time this won't happen. Here, next time you visit, Bloom's on us." Not what I said. I said a burger is on us. No, appetizers on us. Am I gonna bleep that? Am I gonna leave it in? Who knows? Jeez, I'm just giving away too much information. Anyways. Any freaking ways. Where are we? So, soup was... Okay, so let's say they finish their soups. Now all they're doing is they're twiddling their thumbs, thinking about, when's that food going to come out? Now, what I like to do is when I take the soup and salad plates out off the table, let them know, I'll keep an eye out for their entrees, because they should be done shortly. Or I'll say something like that, so that they have some confirmation in them that their food is in the works and should be done soon, to prevent incompetent thoughts. I am very, very thorough because of how bad I was when I first started. Now I think I'm a pretty good server boy. Anyways, this is also a great opportunity to ask if they want refills on alcohol, because some people are big drinkers with their meal. So maybe like, "Hey, can I grab you any more beers with your food?" And the chances of them saying yes are significantly increased according to the place I work at. So that is also très important. But now their food has arrived. How is this 50 frickin' steps? I must have been just like separating anything and everything into a different step. Anyways, they have their meal. Now this is crucial. I know I've said it once, but I'll say it again. Did you check to see how their food is tasting? Because steaks can be tricky. If they're on that grill for like an extra minute longer than they need to be, they could very well, or not long enough, they could very well be incorrectly cooked. So a medium could now be a medium well or a medium rare instead of a medium that they wanted. Some people are very, very picky, which they have full right to be. They're paying for a piece of meat that they want to taste deliciously. So we make sure. We go, once we know, like, you don't ask if they haven't cut in their steaks. Don't ask them to cut in their steaks. Don't rush them to cut into their steaks. When they have cut into their steaks and they've tried it, make sure you ask, how is everything tasting delicious? That's basically what I say. I don't go, how's that steak cooked for you? Well, I mean, you could. I'm just saying what I do personally. I'm not saying it's the best way. It could very well be the worst way. I'll admit it here first. It could be the worst way to do it. It could be off the book. I'm going rogue, bitches. So this is also a great opportunity because sometimes, there's a person in the kitchen who plates up all the food. We call them the expo. They read the tickets. Actually, instead of tickets, now we have these screens. They read these screens and make sure the tray has everything on it that it needs to have. Or maybe if you need more than one tray, that all the trays are set. Sometimes, though, they mess up, they forget, they might put all the toppings on the baked potato when it's supposed to only have a few, or they forget to put on a side on. It's very rare, because normally the expos are managers, so they know their shit. They've been doing it for a while. They're kind of adept, talented at what they do. I mean, it's their job, so what am I saying here? So there is times that happens. So you want to make sure everything's good on your own while you might be looking over the table without their attention. Like, they can be talking to make sure everything's there. If they need refills, you are their servant boy, and you're trying to juggle all these things at once, which is fine. This is your job. Now, here's one thing I want to point out. As a guy that works at a steakhouse, this is what a lot of new people do, is that when they drop off the food, they go, "Can I grab you folks anything else? Maybe some steak sauce?" All right, listen here, girly, because it's okay. Not necessarily girly or guy. I think I've only trained one dude. Let me think about that. Yeah, I've trained one guy and 10 girls. So I'm gonna say, listen, you girly. No, just kidding. It's not because they're a girl. Don't get offended by the words that are coming out of my mouth. We are a steakhouse. My burnt tongue is tripping me up. This is a steakhouse. There should never be a time where we offer steak sauce, because that implies that our steak isn't good enough on its own. That's one example. But if they ask for steak sauce, we would be more than happy to fetch it for them. It's just kind of like one of those confidence things that why would you assume that our food needs to be improved upon? I'm not ranting on anyone in specific. That was just an example, and I'm trying to add flavor to this little lecture I'm giving, which I don't know why that was flavorful for me. That was improvised, going off the book once again, going rogue. Oh my gosh, my mouth is so dry. So they're eating their food, and at this point you're looking for signs that they're slowing down. Now, steaks can sometimes be huge. You can't assume that they're done because their plate is clean. Sometimes people order, like, I don't know, we have like a 22-ounce ribeye. It's going to be very hard to figure out, hey, are they almost done? I mean, that's a lot of meat. I don't really expect them to eat it all. So you have to look for signs that they are slowing down. Now, if you're not sure, but you have a hunch, what you could say, shoot, what do I say? I work in like 2 hours from now, and I don't even know what I tell my tables. Oh, jeez. Frick. Let me think about it. This is what I say. I say, are we still going strong? I don't know why I say that. It felt right one time, and now I just say it. And people are like, oh no, I think we're going to need a few boxes. And at this point, well, if they say boxes, I'm still supposed to, so I offer dessert. However, that's probably not the best way to transition into dessert offerings. Another thing you can do is when you can tell that they're done, they have the linens on the plates. you offer the dessert. Now, what I forgot to mention, anytime that I think I'm going to ask them if they want a dessert, like 5 minutes before I think they're even done, or could be done, or if I think they already are done and I just haven't done it yet, I'll print out their check. So if they say no to dessert, and they say, we just won't need our check, I already have it right there, and they don't have to wait for me to go mill around in the back and do a ton of other stuff for my other tables. It's already there, which is part of the reason why one table thought I was rushed, is because I'm always prepared and ready. Anyways, I plonk that mother trucker on their table. I'm like, oh, I magically already have your book, or I'll insert a joke. A lot of serving, you have to read your tables. It can be kind of like comedic practice, because some tables will want to be the funny guy and humor you, and sometimes they want you to humor them. I've heard so many dumb jokes from tables. Like, don't be that guy when the server drops off the check that says, I don't want it, or like, take it back. We've heard it 1,000 times. You're not clever. I'm sorry, or ask me to pay for the meal. Like, I'll laugh, like genuinely laugh and humor you, but it's not funny. Oh my gosh, how many times have I probably have heard that 100+ times. Dare say 200 times. Dare say 3. Don't make me raise it to 400. Don't make me raise it to 400. Anyways. So if they want a dessert, that's fine. Hey, what dessert can I get for you? I highly recommend trying out this bad boy. It's a blank, blank, blank on a blank, 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 and a blank, blank. And they're like, whoa, that sounds dope AF. I want one of those, homeboy. And so you go back, you ring it up, and you wait for it. Now, a lot of times, you can be grabbing the stuff that, like, let's say at the same time you have another table. So while you're grabbing drinks for this other table, this dessert might be getting made. And then that's ample opportunity to go snag that bad boy and throw it on your tray and run it out with the drinks, for instance. And then, of course, you need to get a new check with the dessert on it and then provide that. And then regardless, I'm going to skip the part for the no dessert because it's going to be the same as when the people finish their dessert. So they're wrapping up the dessert, and at this point, it's a waiting game to see if they're going to put their card or money into the book. Now, this is kind of important, not very important, but you want to set your book. So hopefully people don't replicate the way that you set the book on the table. You don't want to ever, I've already said this once, you don't want to rush your customers. But sometimes you're not sure if they've already put their card in the book. So there's a slot at the very top so the card will stick out like a flag. Some people don't use that slot, which is annoying because you have no idea if that book's ready to grab, and you don't want to grab it too soon in fear that you're going to rush your customers. And it's just like an unknowing game. Or if there's cash in there, they're not going to use that little flag spot. That won't work. So you want to set the book in a way that you don't think the table will replicate once they have once they put the payment in. One way they do this is have the book standing up, and a lot of people will put the card in and just let the book lay down on its side. However, some people will put it exactly the way you do it. So this isn't always a guarantee. Let me just wait till the end of this whole discussion and say I don't work at one of those places with those fancy tablets on the table. I actually put in effort for my job. Just kidding. Nothing against them. I have no idea. They probably have to... Their job's just as hard as mine, just in different ways, I'm sure. Or maybe it's the exact same thing. They just have it a fancy pay method. Anyways, so then once they put the payment in the book, you get that taken care of, and you tell them, hey, good night. If there's anything else you need, just let me know. I hope you enjoy the rest of your night. Blah, 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 blah. I'm not redundant. I try not to be redundant in the same paragraph. So I won't say good night. I hope you enjoy the rest of your night. That doesn't make sense. That's silly. That's gross. What else can there's so much stuff I can say. Oh yeah. The payment process in my little instructions is 4 steps. Because one step is if it is cash, provide necessary change unless they specified no change at the table. Do not ask if they want change, as it may imply that the change is for you. Okay, so yeah, maybe that was a good thing to read. So unless they say no change, give them change. Otherwise, they might, like, let's say the tab was $30, but they put 2 20s in there. And if you don't bring them change, that's basically you assuming that the $10 extra is for you. And homeboy, that would be, let's see here. That would be a 40% tip. Wait. Oh no. Between a 30 to 40% tip. The normal, you get tipped anywhere from between 0 to 20%. Now, I may have... Okay, this is another thing I can discuss. I might be done with these instructions, but that doesn't mean I can't stop talking about the serving industry. We're 50 minutes deep. There's no point of me stopping talking now. Stopping talking. So like I said, I really hope I didn't miss steps. Now I kind of want to reread this whole thing to make sure I said everything I wanted to say. I probably didn't. Take what I said with a grain of salt. It probably only has 75% of what we actually do in there. Or, like, if you're using this as a guide, and I don't know why you would, there's probably a few more steps in there that you need to learn. So don't think if you have this podcast episode mastered that you're going to be a great server. Because it ain't true. Even if this was, like, a good guide, I'd probably give it a 3 out of 5, saying you'll be slightly above average at serving if you follow these steps. Anyways, so there's a few things. Where I work, we have hosts who seat the people, and they do a few other tasks, and we have bartenders. Now, the bartenders are the reason why we don't have to make drinks. Now, so what I'm about to say is in regards to tipping. Now, I understand tipping is kind of stupid. However, it's how we make our money. And if you don't tip, we actually technically lose money by serving you. So how it works at my place is 3% of our total sales goes to bartenders and hosts. So let's say the tab was $100 at a table. And they decided, no, we're not going to tip. We don't believe in tipping, whatever. It's their fault for being a server. They worked hard. And, I mean, no matter what, like, come on. The food's cheaper. You get to decide, hey, this server did a good job. I think they should get paid a little bit more. Or, hey, this server did a bad job. They should get paid a little less. I know some people don't like their responsibility. Not trying to make fun of you or anything. If you don't feel like deciding how much a server makes, maybe you have your own, like, whether they did bad or good, you don't want to judge that. Have, like, a stick, like, percentage rule, or maybe you always pay. I'd probably do. Okay, so let me get into the percents of it before I say anything. So no matter what, this server is going to give 3% of their total sales to the bartenders and hosts. So if let's say you had a $100 check, the server is going to lose $3 off of that check, just off that table in specific. So if you don't want to, let's say you have a rule to where you only tip $5 because you think that's all our service is worth is $5. What you could do is tip 8 to take an account of the percentage, and then that server will make only $5 from working for you, for instance. I mean, I get it. If we have 3 tables and every table gave us $5 and each table stayed for an hour, that means we're making like $15 an hour. That makes total sense. Total logic. I get that. So $5, not going to complain. However, I mean, honestly, that is an awful tip if you're doing tips by percents, which a lot of people do. I'm just throwing out a proposal for an idea for you as a non-liker tipper. However, generally, if I'm not getting tipped at least 15%, I used to get a little angry. I'm like, well, I guess I did a bad job. Not at the table. I just think that I did obviously a poor job, because I think no matter how bad the quality of service, I always give at least 10%. Well, that was before serving. Now I like tip too much because I go, oh, I know what they're going through right now. Here's $10 on a $30 check because I'm stupid. And guys, it's really not that hard to figure out how much the tip. So let's say the check is $45. Now I'll make this a little easy on you. That this is if you want to tip close to 20%. So what you can do is, let's say check's $45. Let's just ignore the 5. Just pretend the check's $40 if you're that bad at math. Now double the 4 by 2, and then just move it one place over to where the 5 was. Hey, that's $8. I mean, a real 20% tip would have been $9 because that's 20% of 45. But to make it easier, we're only going to deal with one number. I have a lot of friends that their excuse for not tipping correctly, like they'll just write in a random number. Like I get if you don't want to tip, but at least be honest about it, is that they can't multiply numbers. I guess they can't do percentages. And guys, really, it's not that hard. Even 10%, like you should at least know, hey, 10% of 45 is 4.5. Like Jesus. And then 15% is you just take that 4.5 and then add another half to it, so that 4.5 becomes a 4. Oh geez, no. I know this. Don't quiz me. It's a 2.7. Oh, thank God. I did it. No, wait. No, it's a 2.25. Fuck. That was supposed to be a joke, but then I really fucked up on my math. I'm supposed to be getting a math minor in college. This is embarrassing, I think. So in short, it would be like 675. Okay, give me a break. It's hard to rant into a microphone while doing math. But anyways, and you have calculators on your phone. Come on. What else should I say? Yeah, I really hope. I'm not trying to push you guys on tipping your servers, because I actually make kind of good money. No matter what, I make around like $10 an hour. I shouldn't say no matter what, because sometimes it's proven false. But on an average 5-hour shift, I make at least $50. However, in the past, I've made up to like $175, which is insane. That is an insane range of money to make. And at the very low, actually, it's about to get even more insane, because at the very low, I've made $13 for 5 hours. And that's, so when you think about that, you got a difference of, I don't know, 106, 100, oh wait. You know what? It's like $160 difference. Yeah, sorry. I'm gonna concede defeat on math during this podcasting. Oh my gosh, DiffyQ hasn't really brushed up my my arithmetic. That's my excuse. I don't need arithmetic, and I can use a calculator. Jesus, this has gone on so long. It's about to hit an hour. Probably will hit an hour with that theme song inclusion. I guess I should stop talking. I need to learn how to speak with this microphone. I forget to enunciate and whatever the frick. But it doesn't matter. I can't use grammar sometimes. But whatever. Insert cheesy server joke like, Jesus. I really should have. I thought I was prepared for this when I pulled up my homework assignment, but I should have, written in a second outline, I guess, for all the jokes that I get. This is a very good guide. I might post this somewhere. I might. If enough of you mother truckers tweet at me, I might post it. Maybe not. I'll probably have to revise it. I don't know. I got a 90% on this homework assignment. Sue me. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoy your holidays, or Christmas, or Hanukkah, or Kwanzaa, or May Day, or New Hampton's Day. If that is a holiday, I'm not sure. But thanks for listening.